All right. So, we're gonna do thoughts on the game. Um, Feels good to play. It's slow. That's my only complaint about the gameplay. It's slow. Um, the the tools of it, that you can use, it's very intuitive on like how to heal. I mean, like for me as a Souls player, right? It feels like very like you use throwables. You have like items to like increase the weapon's damage, like give it an element if it's a base weapon. The puppet string, it definitely has ability to be like useful. I feel like until I can actually use that fucking P organ thing, you can't give an actual like review of the actual gameplay. I feel until you got way more way more left hands, the offhand weapon, the offhand, I guess. So you get way more offhands, and until you can actually fuck with the P organ, I don't think you can give like a really like justifiable like how good is the gameplay of the game. But like weapon customization, like the different damage types, yeah, it's all pretty good. Um, the graphics of the game, good. It's got really good graphics. It feels pretty smooth too, and there's not a lot of jittering. That could also be different on the full game as well. Um, the uh the one thing, like, so story wise, the story seems interesting. I'll say that. So story wise, the story does seem pretty interesting. Like, why are the puppets going crazy? There's the P organs. What the fuck is going on with that shit? There's the crystal, or the what was the petrification disease? That one, that's also really fucking interesting. Like, what's that? For otherwise, like the overall game, I don't see any originality. That's the big thing about that. I'm saying I would play this game 100%. Am I gonna buy it? I don't have an urge to actually fully buy it right now. Further down the line, maybe I have more urge to buy it, like Final Fantasy 16 and Armored Core. So maybe once those games are done, maybe I'll buy it. I'll probably will. But for right now, I don't know. We have here's Gearman. The like, and he can like upgrade your shit, right? You've got the doll, right? It's the Bloodborne doll, like exactly. This robot butler, even like down to the face, just looks like the robot barkeeper from Interstellar, and even sounds like him.
To Hotel Pratt. How may I be of service?
It might be the same voice actor, so it's just like, okay, we got the Interstellar barkeeper. I don't know. I don't see an ounce of originality. Like, it's original, like all of these things have come together, but that's what it feels like. It feels like someone grabbed little things they liked from a lot of different things and then threw it all together. So I think that's part of why, like, I kind of like don't have an urge to play it that much, because it's almost like I feel like I've played it and I've watched it in like 100 different ways. I feel like had the combat been a little bit faster, I would have liked it a little bit more too. Because like the blocking, the way the parrying works, functions almost, and like the guard breaking functions pretty similar to Sekiro. The main like combat movement, I feel like, works pretty similar to like Bloodborne, and it's definitely just pulling like Bloodborne but with like in 4K kind of vibes, right? Like RTX on. definitely I feel like, and it feels easier than other Souls games. Or Souls likes. If I compare it to the actual Souls games themselves, it feels easier, and I think that has a lot to do with the speed of it. It's not something I can go to them right now and be like, hey, your game is slow. If you speed it up, it'll be good, because they can't like really go back and change their game that much at this point. Not that I would even have the power to do that, but it does feel good. The movement is nice, if not just slow. Same with like just the overall ability of the game. The story, but otherwise, I definitely, like we said earlier, if you've thought the Souls games were really interesting and you really wanted to play them, and you like a lot of other games, and like the Souls games have been intimidating for you, definitely probably a good place to start. And the only problem with that though is that because it's a good place to start, you might, because it's the like newest by a mile of games, right? You'll play this and play Elden Ring. But I think if you played this and then tried to go back and play Bloodborne, you might get upset. It might have the effect of like, if you go back and try and play like a PS1 game right now, right? You're like, oh wow, this game seems like it'd be a lot of fun, but because it's so old, the graphics, it makes it kind of like hard to see, and you wouldn't have that much of a problem. Like Dark Souls 1, you probably would. But Dark Souls 3, Bloodborne, Elden Ring, I feel like definitely those would be good ones to play after you play this. If you want to get into Soulsborns, but they intimidate you. But yeah, otherwise I like decent game. B. I give it a solid B plus. Based on the demo, it has the potential for an A, but as of right now, like I can't tell what kind of arms would happen. I can't see any later bosses. I can't see if it's gonna have like an end game or replayability factors. Can't see all the weapons, and like if we can do different, like how much variability we can have and do with the weapons. The skill tree, something we don't know. So definitely it has, it's a B plus with the abilities to definitely enter A as a game. And also the story, like if later on in the story it starts to really become its own thing, then yeah, definitely it has some really high potential. But for right now, I'm seeing like copycats everywhere, and that's my own baggage. You could see it completely differently. I think with that though, I think it's everything. Like B plus, I see copycats everywhere, but like well done copycatting. Has the potential to go up to A, has the potential to go down to C. To be a bad game as well, depending on how a lot of these factors that we don't really have access to shape up. But overall, I'd say, yeah, if you're not wanting to play some of the other games that are coming out right now that are catching your attention more, definitely buy it. Seems good. With that though,